Have you ever stopped to think that being poor can be more expensive than being rich? It seems counterintuitive, but the truth is that in 2024, the cost of being poor is higher than ever. While the rich seem to spend less and live better, the poor face a spiral of expenses that only increases. In this video, I'm going to show you the 8 main disadvantages of being poor and why being rich is, in fact, much cheaper. We'll explore how the rich have access to opportunities and conditions that protect them from the high costs that the poor are forced to bear. Stay with me until the end to understand how this dynamic works and how you can start turning the tide in your favor. Ready to uncover the reality behind the numbers? Let's begin. Topic 8. The high interest trap. The first disadvantage of being poor in 2024 is the high interest trap. When you're poor, your credit score tends to be low, which means you pay more to borrow money. This can occur in various forms, from credit cards with exorbitant interest rates to personal loans that drain your finances. The rich, on the other hand, have access to much lower interest rates because they have excellent credit and more collateral to offer. This means that when they borrow money, they pay less in interest and get better payment terms. For example, while a poor person may pay 25% interest on a credit card, a rich person might pay only 5% on a bank loan. This difference in interest may seem small at first, but over time, it adds up, causing the poor to spend much more just to maintain their debts. The irony is that the less you have, the more expensive it is to borrow money, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. While the rich use cheap credit to invest and grow, the poor end up trapped in a spiral of debt that only pushes them further into poverty. Topic 7. The cost of emergencies. Being poor means you're always one step away from a financial emergency that can ruin your finances. Whether it's a medical emergency, a car breakdown, or job loss, poor people have little to no margin to deal with unforeseen events. This forces them to resort to emergency loans, which often come with very high interest rates, or to sacrifice basic necessities to cover unexpected costs. The rich, on the other hand, have substantial emergency funds and insurance that cover most contingencies. They can absorb the financial impact of an emergency without needing to go into debt. Additionally, they have access to quality healthcare and insurance that minimize the financial impact of any medical emergency. In 2024, the cost of emergencies is higher than ever, with medical service prices skyrocketing and the cost of living constantly rising. For the poor, each emergency can be devastating, leading to more debt and more hardship. Meanwhile, the rich, with their financial reserves and risk protection, can face these challenges with much more ease, without significantly affecting their standard of living. Topic 6. The cost of food. The rich, on the other hand, have access to high-quality supermarkets, can buy in bulk, and have the financial freedom to choose healthier and fresher foods. They can also afford subscriptions to organic or fresh food services, which, although they seem expensive, end up being more economical over time due to the health benefits. Furthermore, the rich have the flexibility to eat out at healthy restaurants or hire meal services that ensure balanced and nutritious meals. The poor, however, often resort to fast food or cheap, low-quality food, which contributes to health problems like obesity and diabetes, further increasing the cost of living. Topic 5. The price of housing. The cost of housing is another area where being poor is more expensive. People with fewer financial resources generally live in areas where rent is relatively low, but the overall cost of living can be high. This is because these areas often have less access to services, quality public transportation, and job opportunities, forcing people to spend more on commuting and other basic services. Moreover, properties in poor areas tend to depreciate or not appreciate as much as properties in wealthier areas. This means that even if a poor person manages to buy a house, they won't see the same return on investment as someone in a more prosperous area would. The rich, on the other hand, can buy properties in valued areas where the property tends to increase in value over time, generating more wealth. The rich also have access to cheaper financing options, while the poor may end up paying higher interest on their mortgages, or worse, may be forced to rent indefinitely, never being able to build equity. Thus, the cost of housing for the poor, in the long run, is significantly higher, perpetuating the cycle of poverty. Now I ask you, do you think it's hard to make a YouTube video like this one? And what if I told you that in 1 month you could earn between $5,000 and $10,000 per month as extra income by creating simple videos for YouTube like this one? I have a complete and straightforward course that I developed for a single payment of $29,090. $29,090 ain't make you more poor or rich. But what if this program works for you? Well, the link is in the first pinned comment of the video and in the About section of the channel, okay? If you're interested, just click the link to know more. But now, back to the content. Topic 4. Expensive and low-quality education. When it comes to education, the poor also face a significant disadvantage. In 2024, the cost of education continues to rise, and the quality of public schools in poorer areas is often inferior. This means that the children of poor families receive an education that prepares them less for the competitive job market, limiting their future opportunities. The rich, on the other hand, have access to the best private schools, tutors, and extracurricular programs that provide a significant educational advantage. They can invest in additional courses, international exchanges, and other opportunities that further expand their children's chances of success. Additionally, they can afford the rising costs of prestigious universities, ensuring that their children have the best chances of getting high-paying jobs. The educational disparity becomes a vicious cycle. Without a good education, a poor person's chances of improving their life are limited, and they may end up stuck in low-paying jobs, perpetuating poverty. Meanwhile, the rich continue to invest in their children's education, ensuring that wealth and opportunities remain in the family for generations. Topic 3. The high cost of time. Time is one of the most valuable resources, and for the poor, it is often more expensive than for the rich. People with fewer financial resources often have to work in jobs that require long hours for low pay, leaving little time to take care of their health, education, or pursue better opportunities. This high cost of time means they often cannot dedicate themselves to activities that could improve their quality of life or future prospects. The rich, on the other hand, have the flexibility to use their time more efficiently. They can hire people to perform time-consuming tasks, such as cleaning or childcare, freeing up more hours to focus on making money, investing, or simply enjoying a higher quality of life. Additionally, they have the luxury of investing time in hobbies, continuous education, and networking, which can generate more opportunities and long-term success. This difference in the use of time between the rich and the poor translates into a continuous cycle of inequality. While the rich use their time strategically to continue growing and prospering, the poor are stuck in a cycle of exhausting, low-paying work that prevents them from significantly improving their financial situation. Topic 2. Lack of access to financial services. One of the biggest disadvantages of being poor is the lack of access to quality financial services. Without a bank account, many poor people resort to alternative services like pawn shops or payday loan companies, which charge exorbitant fees to provide quick access to cash. This means they end up paying much more for financial services than the rich. Additionally, the poor have less access to quality financial advice. While the rich can hire advisors to help them plan investments, retirement, and tax strategies, the poor often have to make important financial decisions without proper guidance. This can lead to costly mistakes, such as getting into high-interest debt or missing out on investment opportunities. The rich, on the other hand, have access to a wide range of financial products that help maximize their money and minimize risks. They can invest in stocks, real estate, and other assets that generate passive income, while the poor are limited to basic and expensive financial options. This difference in access perpetuates financial inequality and makes it even harder for the poor to escape poverty. Topic 1. The cost of healthcare. Finally, one of the biggest disadvantages of being poor is the high cost of healthcare. Poor people tend to have less access to quality healthcare, which means they often have to delay or avoid medical treatments until the situation becomes critical. When they finally seek care, the costs are much higher, both financially and in terms of health. The rich, on the other hand, have access to comprehensive health insurance and can afford the best doctors and treatments. They also have more resources to invest in preventive care, such as regular checkups, healthy eating, and physical activities, which help avoid health problems before they become serious. This means that, in the long run, the rich spend less on medical care because they can prevent serious illnesses and treat health issues early on. The lack of access to adequate health care perpetuates the cycle of poverty, as untreated health problems can lead to job loss, inability to work, and medical costs that can financially ruin a family. Meanwhile, the rich continue to protect their health and wealth, reinforcing the disparity between rich and poor. Being poor in 2024 is not just difficult, it's expensive. From high interest rates and financial emergencies to lack of access to education and financial services, the poor face a spiral of expenses that perpetuates inequality. Meanwhile, the rich manage to avoid these costs or even use them to their advantage, making their lives cheaper and full of opportunities. If you're ready to change your financial reality, start thinking like the rich. Invest in knowledge, control your spending, and make money work for you. Which of these disadvantages do you find most challenging? Leave your comment below. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and for more tips on how to improve your financial life, watch the next video that's appearing on your screen now. See you next time. I'll see you there.